coming to you on location at Galaxycon here in Louisville. I'm with the one, the only, Jerry the King Lawler. Grew up with this dude. Here I am now interviewing him. What do you think, huh?
When you say you grew up with me, do you tell the people the truth that you used to babysit me when I was...
What? Wow. We're going to be a smackdown here, right?
Right.
So, what do you think of Galaxycon so far?
Oh, I love it. I mean, this is my second year in a row here. Yeah. And the great thing about coming here to Louisville is, of course, I'm like a big fan. I love to come to Comic-Cons and the Galaxycon because of the great guest list. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have so many great celebrities here that I'm walking around and when I'll walk past somebody and I go, take a picture without them knowing it. Right. You know, I'm a fanboy when at these things. So, I mean, you know, see people like Lou Ferrigno over there and Ric Flair and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I love coming to these things. The only problem is I don't get a chance to go and shop like I really want to. Yeah.
So what drives you to excel in your area expertise? You know, there's a lot of guys from your era. They aren't with us anymore. They're not in the business. You're still trucking, man. What is it?
I finally met a woman that can spend more money than I can make. And so that
he said it, I didn't say
that is what keeps me going these days. Mm-hmm. No, I really, especially with wrestling, of course, I'm back on Monday Night Raw, USA Network every Monday night doing the commentary.
That's great.
Something I've just, enjoyed doing for so many years. And it's just something about the wrestling business. It really gets in your blood, and it's hard to, I don't know of anybody really that I can look around and say they just retired from the wrestling business.
True.
There's nobody that I know of that just goes home and starts fishing or something like that, after being in the wrestling business.
I wouldn't think so. So when was the aha moment, Jerry, when you were a young man that you realized you could make a career out of this? This is what you wanted to do professionally. There had to be a moment. Something must have triggered.
Well, you know what? When I look back on it, I had so many, if you want to call them aha moments, that all culminated into me being in the business. I started out, a lot of people don't realize it, I started out in high school, or all through school as a matter of fact, being an artist. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I'm here. Yeah, my buddy Mike Kingston over there, we're here as not only as a wrestling personality, but as a comic book artist. Mm-hmm. I do the cover for Mike's Headlocked comic books here. And at that time, when I was just a kid in high school, I would draw superheroes. Mm-hmm. Superman, Batman mostly, but do those things. And then I started drawing, as I was getting later on in high school, I started drawing pictures of wrestlers because I watched them on Saturday mornings and I'd draw some pictures. Then I graduated. I won a full tuition commercial arts scholarship to the University of Memphis. And after I started going there, somebody said, why don't you send some of those pictures that you've drawn of the wrestlers into the TV station that shows the wrestling every Saturday? So I did. After the show, a lot of people in Louisville will remember this name, Lance Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Lance Russell and Dave Brown called me after the show was over, and they said, kid, we like your drawings, and we'd like you to come over to the studio and meet some of the wrestlers and draw some more pictures. And that's how I got my foot in the door, met the fabulous Jackie Fargo. Yeah. He owned a nightclub in Memphis. He had me come over and paint. I must have painted 500 caricatures of Jackie Fargo all over the walls of his club. So that was really how I got my foot in the door in wrestling. I used to ask Jackie, after I became friends with him, I said, please, Jackie, just let me, I got to see his lifestyle, and I said, please let me try it just one time. Let me be one of those guys that go out on Saturday morning and get their brains beat out, and he would say, no, kid, you're too good you're too good an artist. No. You want to stick with art and forget about wrestling. And I just kept hounding him, and I said, promise you, Jackie, if you let me try it one time, I'll go back to being an artist, and I won't ask you again about wrestling. So he finally relented. Wow. He let me be one of those guys that went in on Saturday morning and get their brains beat out. And that was 49 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm still wrestling. But thanks to Comic Cons and things like that, I've gone full circle. I get to come back and do artwork and that sort of thing. So it's been like the old movie. It's been a wonderful life.
What advice would you offer an aspiring boy or girl or man or woman out there that would love to get into the wrestling profession? It's kind of twofold. And could someone today starting out become a Jerry the King Lawler in 49 years from now? Has the business changed is what I'm getting at.
Well, yeah, definitely. The business has changed. And I don't know, the worst advice I was ever given was be yourself. So I won't say that to anybody. I don't know. It's hard to say because it's difficult. People will come up to me and ask a similar question like, "How do I get into wrestling? What do I have to do?" And I can't say, "Hey, be an artist like me and go out and do that sort of thing." Everybody gets into this business a different way, and especially in the past, it was always different than it is now. Now you got your major worldwide wrestling company with the WWE. They have a developmental territory down in Florida, and you literally almost exclusively have to go through that to ever make it big in the WWE. So it's a difficult thing to do. I mean, I would say it's up there with being every kid. I was one of them. You think when you're a kid you're going to grow up to be a baseball player or a football player. Yep. I mean, I think getting into wrestling and making it in the WWE is as difficult as it is to become a Major League Baseball player or NFL football player. It's just it's not easy. But if you can ever do it, it's a very rewarding life.
What makes you lose your sense of humor?
Honestly, not much.
Really?
No. I mean, I have always thought that was one of my not favorite personality traits, but one of the things that I think has helped me throughout my career, especially in commentating. You know, that was my whole difference in most of the other commentators. When you see a play-by-play guy out there like a Michael Cole or good old JR and everything, I always thought that it's sports entertainment, and I always thought that the commentators should help with that entertaining part. They should be as entertaining as the wrestlers. So I always try to add a little humor. I thought that that there was always room for humor in the commentary end of the business. So not too much can make me lose that.
Okay.
Maybe Vince McMahon yelling at me if I say the wrong thing during the Monday Night Raw broadcast, but other than that, everything's okay.
So if you had to pick one, what's your favorite comic book hero?
Oh, I don't know if you can see this. Superman. Nice. That's because I really feel not of a loyalty, but I feel like I owe. But everything that I've got started when I try to look back at what started me on this path. It was drawing Superman when I was 5 years old. That was the first thing. And drawing Superman led up to drawing the wrestlers. Drawing the wrestlers led up to me becoming a wrestler, and becoming a wrestler, and then in the commentary, and led up to me people buying little dolls of me at Comic Cons. It's crazy.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly.
So this show's called Moxie Talk, and Moxie's basically grit, courage. Where do you think you exhibited your most courage throughout your human journey, your life? Is there one moment that comes to mind where you just kind of even amaze yourself that you did it?
No, not really. I mean, I've been through a lot of things. I died on live TV on Monday Night Raw one year, about 11 years ago or 7 years ago or something like that, and to come back from that, I guess the thing that took the most courage, and I can't even say that. I mean, I guess I did get through it to an extent, was when my son Brian passed away.
Sorry.
That's something. There are people out there that know what that's like, but until you experience something like that, you can't imagine how much courage it takes just to make it through something like that.
This next question kind of dovetails into that, I feel. If you could have dinner with anyone living or deceased, who would it be and why, Jerry? It could be living, historical, someone you really like but have never met that's living.
Yeah, I mean, other than being able to have a family reunion of my brother, my mother, my father, and Brian that have all passed away. Other than that, if you think, I always thought, and a lot of people probably will never even remember or realize who this is, but my favorite comedian growing up was W.C. Fields.
Oh, yeah.
And I always just thought how cool it would be to sit around and listen to W.C. Fields tell some of the stories, because he once told a story about where he got his sense of humor. Was he lived in a very poor neighborhood, but he said his mom had this sarcastic sense of humor, and he said he would sit out on basically the porch or stoop with his mom as people went by there, I guess in either Philadelphia or New York or somewhere. But and he said his mom would kind of make fun of the people as they walked by. Yeah. And I would just love to sit around and listen to him make fun of people or tell some of those stories about that.
So this is our signature question. We've asked every guest we've ever had on the program. God forbid, Jerry, you walk out of here, it's your last day on earth. not just your last Galaxycon. How do you want to be remembered by fans, friends, family, people you've touched along the way? How do you want to be remembered?
I won't care. I'll be dead.
Well, that's it. The king has spoken. I like that. Jerry, I'm humbled and honored you came on Moxie Talk. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Galaxycon here in Louisville, Kentucky. Stay tuned.